Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the best all-sports podcast in Boston.
Why?
Why not? Watch out.
Really? Oh.
Here we go.
This is the Duck Boat Report, your home for the biggest news
Boston has another championship
and the hottest takes
About the accomplishment. Woo.
in all of Boston sports.
Whoa.
Oh boy, we're getting excited.
To take you through everything happening in the City of Champions, here are your hosts, Brady Gardner
It's not really a victory lap, I'm just saying.
and Patrick Donnelly.
I'm losing faith.
How's it going, everyone? And welcome to episode 17 of the Duck Boat Report. Here with Patrick Donnelly, I'm Brady Gardner. Patrick, how's it going?
Pretty good. We are sleepwalking this morning.
I feel like that's every time.
But,
This is
I mean, you add in the
consistent.
fact that we played a full court basketball game last night for
We
the
did.
first time in like 5 years for anyone involved.
We weren't
or
awful.
at least for the three of us, you, me, and Ethan.
Yeah. We were okay, though. We held our own.
Yeah, I was good defensively.
That's half the battle.
I'm frustrated myself, missed a couple open fast break layups.
Happens.
But
Rusty.
you know what? There were those two kids that was determined not to let score on me. I didn't let them score on me.
Nope. Shut down. Clamps.
Avery
Anyway.
Bradley. Or pre-2017 Marcus Smart.
Nice.
All defense, no offense.
Okay. Anyway, do you have a leadoff thought for us today?
Sunday night was a wake-up call.
Very much a wake-up call.
Wake-up call.
Patriots losing to the Ravens. What was the final? Oh, gosh. 37-20. It was a wake-up call for the Pats, especially on defense, but we'll get to that. My leadoff thought, JD Martinez is in. He's opted in as of 5 p.m. last night at the deadline for opt-ins, and I'm pretty happy about it. He's been one of my favorite acquisitions that they've had among the whole, Dombrowski just bringing in everyone under the sun. He's been one of my favorite guys, and I'm excited to have him back for at least another year. So we'll get more into that as well. But regardless, we have a lot of sports to cover today. We have 3 teams that were in action, and obviously the Red Sox active as well. We have a caller coming in, a first-time caller.
First-time caller.
New to the show.
New to the show.
That's exciting. He'll be calling in just about 10 minutes, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, so let's get into this. The point after, Patrick, your New England Patriots are no longer undefeated. They fell at the hands of the AFC North leading Baltimore Ravens, like I said, 37-20. And it wasn't pretty for the Pats. Went down 17-0, but came right back with 2 field goals and a touchdown to get it to 13-17 at the half. But that's when the Ravens kind of pulled away. Fumble recovery for a touchdown. James White did get a TD for the Patriots to keep it close, but then the Ravens took control in the fourth quarter with 2 touchdowns, both from Lamar Jackson, and that would do it. Well, 1 pass from Lamar Jackson, 1 run, Okay, that would do it. The Patriots being handed their first loss of the season. Patrick, your reaction?
I think they deserved it.
Yeah.
I don't think they played exceptionally well on either side of the ball, and that's stating the obvious.
They were outplayed?
Yeah, flat out. The offense, again, looked anemic for, what is this, they looked great against the Dolphins, of all people, on week 2, and since then it's just been ugliness from the offense. It's like, oh, well, they've scored 30 points, and it's like, well, that's half of it's from the defense.
Early face-off take for you, Patrick.
Okay.
This was one of the best performances we've seen from the offense this season.
Oh, my God.
It was, because it wasn't their
They
fault.
went 3 and out in like the first 3 drives of the game.
Yeah, and so they got themselves in a hole. It wasn't pretty to start off, but you had to see that coming a little bit. The Ravens coming into their own building. It was going to be difficult, but they made the adjustments. They made it close in the second quarter, and then the Ravens had 2 10-minute drives in the second half. So the offense really couldn't have done anything in the second half. They scored touchdowns on, I think, their only possessions, except for maybe when they were down 17 with 2 minutes to play, garbage time. The offense was good in this game. 10 catches for Edelman, 10 catches for Sanu, inconsistent kicking from Nick Folk. How about that? This offense was solid. They were able to drive when they needed to, and it was just the defense that let you down.
I really
Coming
no.
around.
But it's
They didn't win the game. I know.
yeah. When
The
we're
offense
talking about
couldn't
how
win.
good this offense is, especially how good Tom Brady, 41, he's still doing it, 42, whatever he is, and it's like, okay, we have Mohamed Sanu, Julian Edelman, Philip Dorsett, all these weapons. Where are they?
20 catches between Sanu and Edelman. White kind of disappeared, but
Tom didn't look great though.
he looked better than he has.
I don't.
He was thrown into windows. There were a couple drops there. Ben Watson, he wasn't getting any help from the left side of the line, just like he hasn't since Wynn went down. The run game was better.
The run game was better. James White was very good on the ground, to give him credit.
Sonny Michel had some good long runs too. You had to like to see that. The offense was solid.
I don't think Tom was exceptional though.
Well, no, we've seen him better for sure.
Yeah, well, we have frustrating games with him every so often where it just seems like his eyes are fixed on the first option and they never leave the first option, and he'll go for broke. And there were several of those in this game.
I don't know about
There
that.
was one where he specifically looked for Burkhead when he had Edelman wide open on the cut to the outside of Burkhead, and his eyes didn't leave Burkhead once.
Fair
and he
enough.
tried to force it to him, and it was just terrible.
Well, I think we saw the peak, Tom Brady drive when he had a 2-minute drill, trying to come back, and it would have been a comeback drive, but they kind of got stopped short for a field goal. But that's when he was going to those second, third options. That's when he was mixing in everybody. When he was making the throws. That was peak Tom Brady that we've seen him this season.
So I think the offense, when it obviously this is kind of just being like, oh, this is anyone can tell me this.
Yes.
But when they looked good, it was the best we've seen them.
Mm-hmm.
But there was moments, especially in that first quarter and that first half, where it's the worst they've looked all season.
Well, I don't know about the worst.
It's up there.
It was ugly.
It was.
What they have?
The word I've been using for like 8 weeks now is anemic.
I think they had 7 plays before the Ravens had already put up 17 points. It wasn't good. But they turned it around, and they got back into the game, and then the defense let them down. And so that's the story. The boogeymen were anything but in this game. Penalties that were preventing third down stops, letting up big chunks of yardage on third downs, just not getting off the field, letting the Ravens run all over them, both through Jackson and through Mark Ingram. It was an ugly performance from the defense. What happened, Patrick?
Well, we said this was their first real test, and they failed.
Failed miserably. Not good.
No.
Was it more about the Ravens or more about the Patriots?
I think more about the Patriots. Obviously, Lamar Jackson's a great quarterback. As I've said many times, I think he still should be a Patriot.
He wouldn't fit the system.
Why? Because on the quarterback side of things,
Belichick would pull his hair out seeing him run all over and dance, throw the ball.
he could have also played wide receiver and running back.
Fair enough. Continue your thought.
Well, we have this thing where we're like, well, whether it was Mahomes last year or Baker Mayfield this year or Sam Darnold or Josh Allen, we have these, or Jared Goff even, we have these young stud quarterbacks who we just make look silly.
Not this time.
No, absolutely not.
He made us look silly.
He did.
Terrible. Running all over the place. He juked John Simon right out of his shoes.
It makes you think what's going to happen because we said Baltimore is where the schedule gets real for you. You have Dallas coming up soon.
Another good mobile quarterback.
Another good running back, arguably the best in the league when he's on his game.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
I'm a little more tentative going forward now.
Yeah, for sure. I think it was a wake-up call, and maybe that's a good thing for them going into the break, right? They have a bye week right now, so plenty of time to look at some film and figure things out.
Honestly, perfect timing.
Yeah, I think, well, not for the national media, though, because we're going to hear all about how the Patriots are not legit for the next week and a half.
Patriots, they're just not good anymore. Yeah, Trent Dilfer, that's why you're coaching high school football.
Oh, my gosh. Wow. That was uncalled for. I like it, though. But yeah, the defense just could not get off the field when they needed to, especially in the second half. It felt like you had some life there, and they just sucked it right out of you by just running right down your throats and pretty much making you look a whole lot worse than you had all season.
And we laud the defense, and I don't like being that guy. Oh, it's against Miami and the Jets and stuff like that.
I'm that
but
guy.
going forward, you have because I like to have fun with this.
Sure.
But
they allowed 7.8 points, whatever it was.
Yeah,
in 8 weeks. That's nuts.
And you go. Looking at the schedule moving forward, you have the Eagles. It's all right, well, the Eagles they win games in ugly fashion because they just don't look good, fashionably, I guess.
Yeah.
But they're still a solid team. Probably still going to win that division because it sucks. Then you have Dallas. Then you have the Texans, Chiefs, and then you can kind of ease off the gas with the Bengals, the Bills, and the Dolphins.
Maybe not the Bills.
Maybe not the Bills.
You lose one more game, Bills win one more game, you're tied atop the AFC
Exactly,
East.
and you have about 5 or 6 games here where you're gonna really need to look sharp.
Yeah, Eagles,
Especially
Cowboys,
you're going,
Texans, Chiefs, all playoff contenders.
Especially you're going to Philadelphia and to Houston.
Crazy. This could get ugly. Not ugly, but you could learn a lot.
It could definitely be a conversation.
For sure.
Like it was last year when it went right down to the wire.
Yeah.
Between the Patriots and the Chiefs.
Well, yeah, I mean, the Chiefs certainly have not looked great with Patrick Mahomes out, although they did win, right? Yeah, Harrison.
Isn't Mahomes going to be back for that game, though?
Yeah, definitely.
So
he was almost back this week, I think. So he'll be back. But yeah, they have taken a bit of a step back with his absence, which has kind of helped the Patriots because, like we said, they're getting into a tricky stretch here, and they did not look good in the first one. But maybe that is the perfect wake-up call that they needed. Credit to Jake Bailey, by the way. He had some great punts when they were struggling early on. Love those Jake Bailey balls, as always. I wanted to say that before you could say that. Anyway, Any other thoughts on that Patriots game, or just on to Philadelphia?
We're on to Philadelphia.
Yeah. All right. I have a feeling that our caller potentially will bring this back up. The Patriots.
I believe so.
You think he will?
And I think it'll be a little bit more positive manner because we might need it.
Huh. Interesting. Okay. It sounds like you're feeding him some thoughts there to share.
I'm
We're
not feeding him any
though.
thoughts to share. He's not even listening to this because it's a podcast.
Fair enough. All right. Moving forward, what do we want to do? Celtics or Bruins here in our final 2 minutes?
We can go to Bruins or Celtics.
Actually, it's probably going to take us 2 minutes to go over the JD Martinez thing, so let's just do that.
Okay.
All right, JD, coming back. What are your thoughts?
I like it. Right move.
There you go. Simple. But what does this mean for Mookie Betts?
I'm still in the keep both of them train. And I think Chaim Bloom has enough of a head about him.
Goodbye, Mookie.
No.
He's gone.
No.
See ya.
I'm not gonna believe it until I see it.
We're cutting payroll, and we bring back our second most expensive player, which means that the first most expensive player is gone.
I am not gonna believe it until I actually see it happen. I will go down with the ship.
You think? Well, that would mean that the Red Sox are also going down with the ship. That they're like, all right, let's just go through this one more like real win now year, and then let Mookie walk. Is that the plan? That's not cutting payroll though. It seems like they actively want to cut payroll.
$27.5 million on his last year of arbitration. That's not outrageous.
I don't know. You think it wouldn't be outrageous to pay Brock Holt $12 million? But
you think it wouldn't be outrageous to actually keep one of the top 5 players in baseball?
Huh.
You think it wouldn't be outrageous to field a competitive team?
Yeah.
You think it wouldn't be outrageous? You have all these assets. You have all this money, John Henry, where you can actually pay people.
Right. Well, we'll have to get.
Thank God Fenway Park has 3 new video screens.
It does? Where?
Well, what they did like a few years ago.
Oh, I got excited. I thought they were putting something on the Monster or something.
Thank God there's that New Balance ad in right field.
Wow. Anyway, so JD in the next 3 years could earn $62.5 million, a hefty paycheck.
If you're cutting payroll, the money might as well go to the Coke bottles. Those should be back.
They definitely should. JD also has an opt-out clause after this season, so get used to this. We'll probably be going through this again in a calendar year. But yeah, JD Martinez is coming back. I'm excited about that. I think he's been a real rock in the middle of your lineup. And let's not forget that this team absolutely stunk with power when JD wasn't here. So it's nice to keep him around. I think we're getting a little bit like we see Bogarts and Devers making strides. We think like we don't really need Martinez in the middle of the lineup. Yeah, we do. I think we definitely do. You need that second righty bat there with Bogarts. Actually, Betts is too, but who knows how long he'll be around, right? I'm just excited to see JD come back, and let's hope he's not the right field replacement for Mookie Betts. I see a sneeze coming for Patrick. Look out. Oh. Oh, it's one of those that just doesn't come out.
It just teased me.
Well, it's 10:16. Where's the caller?
I don't know.
Oh, man. He's a busy guy.
Yes, I'm ready. Don't.
Yeah, but we're kind of playing this on the spot. Interesting here.
Text, you ready?
Garrett Cole might be on the move. That's just
absolutely.
That's just kind of scrolling down. Any chance that he's going to be in Boston?
No, because we're cutting payroll.
Correct. But can you imagine
Steven Strasburg is on the market.
That would be awesome.
And someone,
I would love
I don't know
here.
who tweeted it, but it was like, I could see him in the AL East.
Just like a more veteran guy, just kind of a grinder. It'd be amazing. All right, you can give him the intro, Patrick.
And we welcome in Andrew Curran.
Andrew, welcome to the show.
Thank you. How are you guys doing?
We are wonderful. We're just going through some Patriots and now some Red Sox, and I hear you have a good thought for us today. So what do you got?
Yeah, I got a few things. So do we want to hear the positives or the negatives? I got both for offense and defense.
We'll do negatives first, then we can bring it back up to life.
Love it.
All right. So for the offense, man, it's the zero blitz that's killing them. They started that when I think it was definitely the Jets game against Darnold, where they were just sending the zero blitz, which is having no safeties over the top. It's all man, and then they're just sending everybody else. Patriots don't have the offensive line to deal with this right now, nor do they have Brady's trust with the receivers. Yes, you have Edelman, Sanu, who I'm going to get into in a little bit. Unreal. I love the acquisition of him. But without Isaiah Wynn on this offensive line, especially David Andrews, who's been out, Ted Karras has done well, but with Isaiah Wynn coming back, it's definitely going to be important to protect Brady. And also with N'Keal Harry coming back, they'll have another receiver that Brady can trust.
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot more to work in there, but you have to wonder at what point is too much, where you're trying to get back your strong line and you're also trying to work in new receivers. Does it get too difficult and they're like, screw this, let's just go back to what worked? That's what I'm wondering a little bit, I almost fear that N'Keal Harry isn't even going to get into this offense, full time.
Well, he probably won't because Tom just hates rookie wide receivers.
That's what happens, yeah.
I hated that game as much as Tom Brady hates rookie wide receivers.
Yeah, I do agree with that, and I think that, yes, if they wanted to get back into a running game, I think that's going to be difficult. Yeah, with David Andrews not being back, you have James Devlin hurt, which was they're big blockers. You don't have Gronk. I know Collinsworth mentioned that a lot over in the game, and that was kind of annoying that, oh yeah, Gronk isn't there, whatever. But I just don't think that it is possible for the offensive line to get going in the running game without Devlin, without Andrews. I don't know. I know Isaiah Wynn's a better pass protector than he is a run protector, a run blocker. So,
yeah,
I don't know.
Definitely concerns on that offense.
I 100% agree on the Devlin point. I said this when Devlin was placed on IR that the running game was doomed. I think that was the exact quote. And it's looked terrible since.
Well, they looked better this week.
Well,
slightly.
so terrible compared to what we expect.
Definitely.
Like James White was still solid on the ground, as we already mentioned, and they're still getting it done through the air, but it's just looked. You're not expecting anything
right
on the ground. Like Sony Michel were like, oh, here comes another 2-yard gain. It's because no James Devlin.
And that's what the defense is doing. The defenses against New England are forcing them to pass, which then they're just sending a zero blitz, and Tom doesn't have enough time and doesn't trust his receivers enough.
Yeah,
I agree.
So go ahead.
Yeah, so I was just about to say, with Sanu coming in here, he looked unreal this weekend. I don't know if you guys have already talked about that, but he looked unreal. 10 catches, 81 yards. He looks very good. Tom loves him, it looks like. I know that you guys are unsure about N'Keal Harry. I think that he's going to play a big role in this offense.
I love Mama Sanu.
Saying N'Keal will probably not get into this offense. That's what I'm saying. I think that he will. I think that he provides another weapon for Tom. He's a big body, which is something that they are lacking a little bit. Sanu and Edelman both play in the slot a lot. And I think that Harry will bring something that is going to provide this offense and allow Brady to find his weapons quicker and get the ball out quicker.
All right, so that was your negative, right? Oh, Patrick has a thought.
I can get behind that, but you also bring up big body. They did have 6'3" Josh Gordon,
it's and they
pass. He's gone now.
Let it go. It's the pass.
I got the jersey the day they cut him.
That's pretty funny. That's
I'm not bitter about it, and he's only my favorite wide receiver on the Patriots since quite a long time.
Oh my gosh, you're terrible. All right, so that was your negative, but can you bring us back up here with the positive side that you had?
I think that the positive side I did have is the fact that, for at least the offense, that Sanu is back. We're going to get Harry. We're about to get Wynn. If we have the bye week, I think that the offense is going to be fine. I think the defense, they look bad. The run game, the running defense does not look good. Lamar Jackson's unreal. I'm not going to throw that out there, but they are 12th rushing-wise, defensively, which is still pretty good, top in the league. But with this passing defense being so good, it's a big hole in the running team. And in the Baltimore Ravens, they were able to provide. It was I can't even think right now. Sorry. No,
so the pressure of coming on such a big show.
Really?
I know. It's such a huge show.
Oh yeah, the tens of listeners we get.
Yeah. No, but as I was saying, Ravens provided something that teams haven't been able to do against. Not a lot of teams have Lamar Jackson as quarterback, but they ran the ball well even with Ingram, and I think that's going to be one of the biggest concerns for this defense going forward would be the run game.
All right, so before we let you go, it seems like you think that both sides of the ball are going to be improving here after the bye week. Which one are you more confident in, though? Is the offense or the defense going to be able to get better quicker?
Honestly, I don't think that the defense needs to get better. Yeah, they do in the run game, but I think that this was just one of those games that they are just it was just one of those dud games. Yeah, Lamar Jackson's good. I don't want to see Baltimore in the playoffs, but I will
agree.
say that I think it will improve. I think we're going to go into Philly, and Tom Brady is going to look unbelievable. Harry's going to be back. Wynn won't be back until the next week, but I think
If
that
he
this
comes
offense
back.
is going to look really well.
All righty. Well, there you have it. Thank you very much for your input today. Certainly a lot of food for thought. A round of applause here for Andrew Curran joining the show.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yes, we appreciate you coming on, and hope to hear back from you another time.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you, guys.
All righty. We'll
Thank you.
see ya. Have a nice day. And there he goes. Andrew Curran, everybody. That was probably the closest thing we've had to a normal Boston sports caller on a show. He had the little accent. I love that.
Well, when
Good-
you're
good
stuck
stuff, too.
down there at school in New Jersey, and you gotta just represent. So
Gotta let it.
maybe the Boston accent comes out a little bit more, since you're trying to compete with all those Brooklyn accents and stuff like that. So
That was good though. Good input. Thank you to Andrew for coming on the show. Let's move along here. Bruins and Celtics both in action. Patrick probably wants to talk some Bruins, so I'll let you do that, Patrick. What have you seen as of late from your bees?
well, here's my face-off take.
Whoa!
The Bruins, I got laughed out of the building when I said this, I think last week.
Yeah.
I got laughed out of the room.
Okay.
Laughed out of the room. The Bruins are the best team in Boston sports.
Well, so as of current form,
No.
overall.
Overall in the season.
So that's
The Bruins
just not
season has
correct.
been miles better than the Patriots.
Well, yes, but who's won a championship? I mean, if you're going best team, then it's the Patriots.
Best team as of the current
now.
moment in the 2019-20 season.
So then you are going by current form, and then it's the Bruins.
Well, I'm not just saying this after the Patriots lost. I said this last week, and I got laughed out of the room.
I would say which team is the best is determined by which team has the best chance of winning a championship. Who is that? The Patriots. You know? Maybe that tells more about the NFL than the NHL. Wow. But yeah, I see what you mean. The Bruins are a force right now. They've won their last 6. They're putting up goals like no one's business. They had 7, 5, 5, and 6 in their last.
Even when they
4
looked
games.
awful last night, they managed to win by 2 goals. Granted, one was an empty netter, but they managed to look amazing for the third period.
11, 1, and 2.
And they looked terrible last night.
That is bonkers.
They could easily be 10-2 and 2.
And wasn't it Pasternak and Marchand have like 8 and 9 multi-point games on the season, respectively?
Something like that. Brad
In
Marchand's on a
14
13-game
games.
point streak. They've played 14 games.
That's wild.
He has had 2 5-point games in his last 4.
Yeah, Bruins are killing it. Not much to take away from Saturday's game against Ottawa because Ottawa is Ottawa. Although it got a little messy there at the end, but they survived. They moved on. They went on to take on the Pittsburgh Penguins, who they beat 6-4 just last night. It was all pretty. First period, 2-0 lead through DeBrusque and Marchand, and then Pasternak made it 3 in the
If
second.
I may interject for a brief moment.
Please do. Oh, what is this?
Bruins. Whoa, whoa, whoa,
Oh my God, I like that. We're getting
Classic.
The multimedia in here is just wonderful. Okay. Yeah. So then, everything was great. 3-0 lead. But no, the Penguins came right back. 4 goals in the second period, including one with 3 seconds to play, to give the Bruins the 1-goal deficit going into the third. But they came storming right back. Torrey Krug, Brad Marchand, Patrice Bergeron, empty netter, and they had a 6-4 win. What did you see in that game, Patrick? What were your takeaways?
Well, first of all, they looked terrible in the second period.
Dreadful. Best, worst that they've probably looked all season.
I think so, because they get that goal to go up 3-0, and then all of a sudden, Pittsburgh's right back in the mix, and then it's just goal after goal after goal for Pittsburgh. And there was that one with I think it was John Marino coming out of the penalty box. Dan Marino, I don't remember.
Dan Marino?
I think it was John.
Yeah, it wasn't Dan.
Well, you never
he's
know.
a little too
There-
old for that.
Well, I know it wasn't the Dan Marino, but it was some random kid who happened to play at Harvard, and his family was in the crowd. They
Feel good moment.
called up. But yeah, he scored on a breakaway against Yaroslav Halak, and you're sitting there. That's to go up 4-3 with 2 seconds left in the second period, and I pulled the plug. I said to pull Halak, I said you need a save there, and I said they just look terrible. Even if it's not Halak's fault, just get them a spark. And to my credit, Bruce made the right decision. Keep Halak in there. Because I also just totally forgot that they play again tonight in Montreal. So you probably don't want to go to Rask if he's going tonight.
Correct.
All in all, I think they squeaked out 2 points. I don't know if they necessarily deserved it after how terrible that second period was, but they did look great in the third. I'll
Yeah.
give them that. And I think it was one of the better games we've seen Brandon Carlo play all year.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. Good to see Carlo going.
I don't
He's
know.
been hot lately.
He has. He's been much improved this year. I think he's exactly what we've expected from him on the defensive side of the puck. But he's taken a lot more chances and a lot more risk offensively, which is what we like out of him, or what we want to see out of him, because he has the shot. He might not necessarily have the hands,
Right.
but he can shoot the puck very hard. And we've seen, like, even if it's a rolling puck like it was in the Stanley Cup final or fluttering over a couple bodies, he can put it in the net when, not necessarily when needed. He can't really do it on demand
Yes.
like David Pastrnak can.
Yeah.
But I think he's been much improved in that category this year. And there was one specific play last night that specifically led to Bergeron's empty netter where he just totally outmuscled Sidney Crosby off the puck, and it was amazing to watch. It was the definition of the little thing that probably will go unnoticed in the replay, but what a defensive play from him on Crosby.
He's been good. I really like what I see from Brandon Carlo. He's been one of my favorite players in the last year. He's leaps and bounds, I would say, for him. So that's been good. It was John Marino, by the way, who scored it, so you were right. Just the most random names scoring for the Penguins, which is kind of concerning. Dominic Cahoon, Nick Bukestad, Brian Rust. Maybe I don't know national hockey that well, but it's like they're getting scored on by these third, fourth line guys. Not pretty.
Yeah, Brian Rust, fourth liner.
Yeah.
Dominic Cahoon's actually, I think, decent, if I'm remembering correctly.
Never heard of him.
Decent prospect. Yeah, he's with Chicago. Pittsburgh traded Oli Mata, who's a good defenseman, but always hurt.
All right. Well, the Bruins found a way. They got it done. They got their 11th win of the season, and now tonight they'll go for number 12 when they take on Montreal up in the Centre
Les
Bell
Habitants.
at 7:30 p.m. Tickets from $41 if you're interested. That'll be on NBCSN. Good hockey night in Canada. Wednesday night. Wonderful. Friday they will take on the Detroit Red Wings, but we will have a show before then, so no need to get into that. I think the Bruins can get it done against Montreal. We'll see though. Second night of a back-to-back, maybe playing a little shorthanded with so Backus is still banged up. McAvoy took a shot last night.
Yeah, we didn't
Was it
talk
the
about
post?
that. It was the post.
Oh my God, slammed it with his head, right?
Yeah,
Put
so
his face right into the post.
so Backus, Bruce said on Sunday he's doubtful for the next few games, definitely the next two, so we won't see him tonight. Maybe Thursday in Detroit.
Krug was banged up.
Krug was banged up, but he came back to sit on the bench.
Nice.
I don't know if he took another shift, but it was late in the game at that point, so
Yeah.
totally understandable if he didn't. McAvoy didn't come back out. I think that's a little bit more precautionary. So what happened there was,
Sniffles.
I guess. I don't remember who had the breakaway, but it was a broken play. So and so gets the breakaway. McAvoy's flying on the back check, and he dives to make the all out play. And Halak makes the save. McAvoy slides right by him and smacks his head, face, neck off the post,
Yeesh.
and at full speed. And he was down for quite a little bit and went to the room. You could see when he went to the room, he had blood all over his face shield.
Really?
Yeah.
Ugh.
So you're gonna wonder, like, maybe the
I don't like
the
that.
shield cut him on the cheek or something.
Yeesh.
But hope he's all right.
Hockey guy, he's
Hopefully
fine.
we'll get some updates this morning.
Yes. All right, so we'll see about that tonight when they go into Canada to play the Canadians. Oh, big news.
2 minutes ago,
Hello?
so last night Matt Kalman reported Zach Senyshyn was on the trip to Montreal, and officially in the AHL transaction log, Zach Senyshyn has been recalled by the Boston Bruins.
Whoa.
That was 2 minutes ago from Mark Dever.
Let's see him. That's exciting. Nice.
I love it.
Breaking news.
Senny season.
Cynicism. You're going to have to come up with an emoji for him. What's he going to be?
I don't know.
We'll have to
Something
think
that has
about
to
that
do
one.
with speed.
Yeah, Patrick's been doing this thing where he's trying to find an emoji for every Bruins player. He needs some help though, so if you go on his Twitter and maybe give him some suggestions, that would be much appreciated because we're trying to get creative with that. Anyway, let's move on to the Celtics here. We don't have Ethan to break this down for us. How sad, but they've done pretty well. They took on Friday night the Knicks and they beat them 104-102, which wasn't the most encouraging because that Knicks team stinks. But it is the fourth consecutive win for the Celtics, who are now 4-1 on the year. Kemba Walker dropped 33 points. Jason Tatum had a game winner with 2 seconds to play, and everything is dandy. Gordon Hayward led you in rebounds, 9. What'd you see in that game, Patrick, if any? Did you watch Friday night?
I did not watch Friday night because I was at Walter Brown Arena.
Well, any reactions to it you have?
Well, the Tatum game winner is amazing, and there was I think Tucker Boyne had or maybe Dan Greenberg. I don't remember who, but they had the tweet. It was like Tatum took like the same exact shot last year and missed and got chewed out by Kyrie after.
Yeah.
And we have Tatum makes the same exact shot this year and missed, and Kemba's all happy for him. So just two different teams.
Well, we're comparing apples to oranges there because
because what if he misses? Yeah, okay.
Well, Kemba's not coming over hugging him if he misses it.
Well, of course he's not coming over to hug him if he misses.
And then it's not a story. It's not like, oh, well, Kemba didn't chew him out, so he's better than Kyrie.
Well, yeah,
Just
you see
different
Kemba don't. If I don't believe Kemba Walker would go over and chew him out, and you see Kemba Walker just like high five, whatever, like get him next time, whatever they do.
True.
And it doesn't chew him out, then it's still a story.
Yeah. It would have been more of a story. We'll see how they react when Tatum doesn't hit the shot. That's when it'll be interesting. But yes, I see what you mean. It seems like there's a little more support going on there.
Also, that guy on the floor who had the video of the game winner.
Oh.
It is now a life goal of mine to sit on the floor at least once.
Bucket list. It was cool. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Throw in. We already did throw in. I always do that.
And
ones. Thank you, Patrick. Anything that is on your mind, ever, anything.
Do you have anything?
Yeah. NFL scores. The Texans shellacked the Jaguars, so they showed you who the real hierarchy is there in the AFC South. Eagles overcame the Bears. Big problems in Chicago. The Colts beat the Steelers, which was real sad. Steelers beat the Colts, which was sad because Adam Vinatieri missed a 40-yarder that could have been for the win.
It was bad.
It was really bad. But the laces were right at him, and you just pulled it left.
But it wasn't like a little off or a bad it didn't look good in the air because of laces. It was just a duck hook.
It was bad.
That's not the laces.
They blamed it on the long snapper. Didn't you know that?
Really?
The snapper has something to do with the hold because they have to snap it so that it reaches the holder at a certain angle where all they have to do is spin it 45 degrees or whatever and put it down.
They spun it the wrong way though.
So, well, I don't know. Because it probably wasn't in the right place when they got it. Because the holder doesn't have the time to really adjust where the laces are. They just spin it the same way every time. And they just know that it'll be in the right position where the laces are away. Because the holder gave it to them in that position, which makes no sense to me. Like, how do they do that? Or the long snapper gave it to them in that position. I'm tying my brain in a pretzel just thinking about this. How does the snapper have something to do with the hold? But whatever, they blamed it on him. And the Steelers won. Steelers getting something going to Mason Rudolph. Anyway, Bills won again, so they're still nipping at your heels there in the AFC East. Chargers beat the Packers, made the Packers look silly with just 11 points for Green Bay. How do you get to 11? They have a safety? I don't know.
Must have been a safety.
Too much math.
There's no way.
Browns lost again to the Broncos this time. That was now 2-6 for the Browns. And that Baker Mayfield picture was pretty sad. The one that was going on the internet, yeah.
Yeah.
When it went around. And the Jets lost to the Dolphins, who were trying to lose.
I'll eat crow for my Browns predictions.
What?
Remember when we did the predictions early in the year?
No.
And I was like, oh, don't knock the Browns. I think they could be good.
Yeesh.
No.
Not good.
No.
They've really
not
struggled.
even close. That was one of my worst ones.
It's a very chilling take. Very cold.
Well, it was ice cold.
Okay.
Old takes exposed.
Yes. Oh, well. That's nice of you to admit it, though, because I wouldn't have remembered it. So, there you go. John Daly is having knee surgery, as I learned 30 seconds ago. So, get well soon, John. Love ya.
Hit it hard.
Hit it hard, man. There's your golf news of the day. Any other thoughts as we wrap it up, Patrick?
Well, I don't think we ever talked about it, but Andrei Svechnikov scored the lacrosse goal for the first time in the NHL last week.
That was special.
First time it's ever been done in the NHL. And really, I mean, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but it is a little bit of a conversation. It was mentioned on 31 Thoughts, the podcast. So Svechnikov scores, his stick smacks David Rittich in the face, which, I mean, it's on a follow-through technically, but this is, not your regular follow-through. And usually, you might get called for a slash, if you do miss. But, no one reacted in the game, which is, fine. I love this goal. I'm all for it. But you think if it's going to get tried a little more and maybe more things like it are going to happen, what the conversation is like. But as for right now, I'm all for it.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm just saying, cool. There's just that little caveat there of what could happen. Say, stick goes through the cat eyes in the mask, which can happen. Or stick breaks, composite hitting you in the face. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of unlikely what-if scenarios that probably need to be discussed at some point as this gets tried more often.
Is it gonna? Now that it's been successful?
Yeah.
Really?
Austin Matthews has already tried it a couple times this season to no
gosh.
success. We've had it been tried. Svechnikov tried it last year and failed and said I'm gonna do it at some point, and he did it.
He did.
He doesn't even know what lacrosse is.
Right. It was cool though because I think it brought a lot of eyes to hockey. You know, I think people are like, "Whoa, look at that! I've never seen that done before." I know Ethan was pretty impressed, and he's not a hockey guy, so maybe that's kind of representative of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So that was cool. Good to see that happen. Do you have another NHL thought over there?
One more. I'll try and get through real quick.
Yeah.
So I told you about a couple weeks ago how Dustin Byfuglien is taking that leave of absence.
Yeah.
from
How's
the
he
Jets.
doing?
So it's a little bit of a strained relationship here with him and the Jets.
Shocking.
Because he went and got ankle surgery without
Oh.
discussing with the team.
Oh no.
And it's a little interesting because if it's a hockey injury, which it seems like it could be, stemming from last season, because there was plenty of times he looked like he was favoring that ankle. So first of all, going back to this leave of absence thing, it's like, okay, so you leave the day before training camp, and part of it is probably because you're injured, you want to evaluate your future, and so you get suspended by technicality, but that means you're also not getting paid. So why not just
Yeah.
stick it out through like a couple days in training camp, go on IR, and still get paid, and also get paid for the surgery? Because it seems like he did the surgery on his own dime. But if this is a hockey-related injury, which it very well could be, then the Jets might be in for some money here.
Weird.
The Byfuglien might be due some money from the Jets to pay for it.
What a mess.
So, who knows? There was, as Elliot Friedman has said, there's the feeling that if he were to come back, it would be around Christmas time, and the timeline for the recovery of the surgery is the new year.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of right in line. But it's just it's a lot of things. It's a lot of complicated semantics of financial and legal stuff.
Yeah.
And it's put a little bit of a strain on the relationship.
It's too bad. He was one of the more likable guys, I feel like.
One of the more electric players.
Yeah, he was fun to watch, and now he's got some
Now
trouble
it's
here.
very cloudy in the future.
Very. That's kind of a downer. Let me bring you up here, Patrick.
Okay.
Our last note of the day, probably. MLS Cup coming up on Sunday? Sunday's the 10th, right? I think Sunday's the 10th. Yes. That'll be at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday on ABC and ESPN3. Be there when the Seattle Sounders take on Toronto FC, and that'll be a good one. But the more interesting story is that people love their soccer up in Seattle. They sold out in the entire CenturyLink Field, which is where the Seahawks play, 70,000 seats in 20 minutes. They sold the entire place out in 20 minutes. So that's good. It's good for the MLS, you know? It's good for ticket sales. Can you imagine if the Revs did that? If the Revs got to the MLS Cup and then tickets sold out in Gillette in 20 minutes?
Well, they only do the lower bowls, so it might not be hard.
Like, I mean, like if they open the entire stadium. It's not the same soccer market, I don't think.
You gotta wonder if they do. You'd probably think it'd be the regular ticket sales
True.
of the lower bowl, and those go. Let's open up the entire stadium.
Yeah. That would be good.
That'd be good.
But I feel like that would never happen.
Never.
But that's why it makes it so cool that Seattle was able to do it.
Well, Seattle's the big one of the big
Yes.
MLS markets.
Seattle, Atlanta.
Orlando,
Yeah, I mean, Orlando doesn't fill a football stadium like Atlanta and Seattle do.
but they have their own stadium that they do fill.
Correct. Yeah. LA is pretty good.
yeah.
They have their own
Even
stadium too.
NYFC.
NYCFC. Well, they play in the Yankee Stadium, which is the worst place to play soccer. Did you know that?
I didn't
cover-
I didn't know they played every single game there.
They cover the infield with turf. And so they're playing on the grass of the outfield and then the turf of the infield.
Does Zlatan play there?
Um,
Only on the left
I
side.
don't know. Yeah. Nice. That's a good question. I'm not sure.
That's an excellent question.
Yeah. So
There's
there
a
you
lot
go.
of ifs and buts there.
I know. It's just a mess. Why would you ever do that? Why wouldn't you just share a stadium with or the New York Red Bulls right down the street? Makes no sense. There you go, though. MLS talk. This will be the last of that week that we can do it because they're going into the finals to this week, MLS Cup. We'll see how that goes. Two solid teams there, Toronto and Seattle. That'll be a fun one on Sunday. But that'll do it for today's show. Just around 40 minutes here. That's a pretty good number, so we'll call it there. Any final thoughts before we go, Patrick?
Bruins are the best team in Boston.
Bruins? Don't do it.
Whoa.
Yes, there you go. But that's it for today's show. We thank you guys so much for listening. Patrick's going to take us out here.
Whoa, whoa,
Lovely.
whoa, whoa.
Wonderful. That is hey, we keep playing it as long as it's as long as they keep winning, we'll keep playing that.
79 1-2 still alive,
It
boys.
definitely is. So they'll be back in action tonight. So we'll enjoy that game, and we'll talk about it when we return next week. But that's it for today. So we thank
Later
you
in
so
the
much
week.
for listening. Yeah, later in the week. Sorry about that. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next time.